got in a fight over a gift that she actually wanted?
So I didn't get into this fight. This is a couple that a friend of mine who I'm close to. They, as a couple, got into a huge fight over him purchasing her a gift for their anniversary that she actually loved. Which that was like very intriguing to me because how is that possible? And it made me feel like sometimes couples who have been together for a very long time will just argue over anything, just to argue. But I actually thought after I heard it, maybe some people will actually understand where she's coming from. So they had an anniversary. This couple that I know, they've been together for like 20 years. And it's odd because as long as I've known them, they seem to never spat about anything, right? But you never know what goes on in people's relationships. But it was interesting to me because I had never seen them be so on opposite sides of something. And when the topic came up, he was like, so are you going to tell them about how you are not speaking to me because I bought you a gift that you love? And she's like, okay, actually, yes, I am going to tell y'all about this. And she's like, and I bet you all of the women will agree with me. So he bought her a couple of gifts for their anniversary. One of the gifts that he purchased for her was a really nice perfume. I forget the name of it, but I know it was expensive. It was something that he thought she would love. So she wore the perfume for a few weeks and loved it. It became like her favorite perfume. She started wearing it every day, even more than all of her other perfumes.
Her go-to scent.
Her go-to scent. There you go. And so I guess they go out as a family, and she ends up being around his mom, her mother-in-law. And the mother-in-law says, wow, what are you wearing? That smells really good. And so she tells her. And then the mother-in-law says, I knew it. I knew that smelled familiar because that's my favorite perfume as well.
No.
Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah.
So she's like,
He wanted his girlfriend to smell like his mama.
So I guess that's how she took it.
That's how I take it.
Freud is typing.
Freud would like to join the group chat.
Freud's on line 3.
Oh, no.
So it was interesting because the table was split. It was like all of us at the table having a good time. And it was so split because for her.
How is it split, Mo? How is it split?
I mean, I wouldn't have done it. I'm in the middle. I didn't understand it at first. I didn't until she kind of broke it down. And then I was like, okay, I kind of get it. Because at first, he was like, she said that. She said, yes, you wanted me to smell like your mom, and y'all don't see anything weird about this. And then he was like, it wasn't that for him. He's like, I wasn't thinking about that at all. I was literally just asking around, like he was asking all of the women in his life for a really good perfume that she might like. And his mom suggested that one, which I guess he never put 2 and 2 together. Like, oh, that's what my mom wears. And if I get it for my girl, she's going to smell like my mom. I don't think he did that much.
I think that's a good loophole right there. I mean, if mom didn't say, well, I wear blank, then he's safe. She's just rattling off he's safe. She's just rattling off the names of a whole bunch of perfumes without associating them with herself. I think he's all right.
I call
That's
BS.
what I thought.
I call BS. Listen, our senses are so powerful. Our sense of hearing when we hear something and what it evokes in the mind, especially our sense of smell. If I smell Boucheron, I immediately think of my mother and being trapped in the Astro van with her because she put too much on. Like, that's where my mind goes. I think of her. White Diamonds is the same thing. So if he's sitting there, that man knows when he's making love to his girlfriend.
Stop. No.
Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Wow, you're next level right now.
Smelling that perfume. And whether he wants to admit it or not, you smell something like that, it's going to trigger your brain and you're going to think about the person that wears it.
Oh, mommy. I completely agree. So I'm on the fence here because I have one foot in like that's a little creepy, it's a little Freudian, but then I have another foot in the fact that like, well, he didn't smell it on his mom and go, that smells really good, let me buy that. So here's what's going to be the deal breaker for me. Does he see his mom in person consistently on a normal basis? Like, do they live in the same city?
They don't.
Okay, so she lives somewhere else. I feel like maybe I'm in Bert's camp now, because if you're not smelling it on someone, you don't really associate that scent with them.
It's just a bunch of names of perfumes.
Yeah.
According to him, that's what it was. Like, he asked his sister, he asked his mom, he asked his one of his best friends, he just was literally trying to, and for whatever reason, he went with the one that his mom loved.
Hey, Angela, good morning. You're part of the Bert Show. Thank you for calling.
All right, just to let you know, I'm normally not on the guy's side, but smell different
Yes.
on different people.
You mentioned that.
This
They
is
do.
100% true. Let me tell you how I got.
Doesn't smell the same.
I got mad last week at Cavante, our board op. He's the guy that runs all the buttons and stuff for the radio station. He's walking down the hall, right? And I'm like, damn, dude, you smell good. What is that? And he goes, Sauvage. And I'm like, I wear that almost every day. It doesn't smell that good on me.
See?
I'm mad at you.
The scents are different,
Yeah.
right? So it probably smells different on his mom than his woman.
So that's fine. Whatever. All right. Is it a deal breaker then? No. Am I ever wearing that perfume again? Hell
That's what she
no.
said. She's ready to throw it out.
Well, once you
Absolutely.
have the info,
Yeah.
you can't go back. But
And neither can he.
yeah.
Now he knows that's his mother's perfume.
Yeah.
Neither one of them can go back. It's time to find a new scent.
That is true, man.
It's time
That
to switch
is
to the
true.
baby love. Like we gotta move on.
Hey, Mo and I had a really touchy night last night, and I want to share it with you guys because I've always felt like when it comes to Bert's Big Adventure, this is the trip we take down to Disney World every year, as you know, with kids that have chronic and terminal illnesses. You guys are the shareholders in that, and I say shareholders because you guys are the ones that donate everything, man. Without you guys, there is no Bert's Big Adventure. So we get the benefit of being able to go and hang with the kids. So when we do that, I really feel a responsibility to tell you about it. And if you guys remember last year, we had a Bert's Big Adventure reveal. Tell them exactly what a reveal is. Not specifically this one, but what it is.
Yeah, so at our big send-off party, so this is the broadcast that we do the morning that we're about to hop on our private flight and head down to Disney. We do some special family reveals throughout the morning. And as we get to know these families, we find some needs, we find some wants, and just to make, doing what Bert's Big Adventure does to make everything extra special, we surprise the families with some additional love and gifts and experiences.
Things they never see coming at all, right? They could probably never get themselves. Most people couldn't get something like this. So when Chance was with us on Bert's Big Adventure, he had told us, or his mom had told us, that his comfort food has always been steak.
No matter what treatment he was going through, steak always tasted good.
This kid loves steak. Well, Kevin Gillespie, who's got a bunch of great restaurants all around town.
Chef Kevin Gillespie.
Chef Kevin Gillespie, amazing restaurants around, really high-end restaurants around town, said, hey, I heard about Chance, and if Chance wants to come on down to Nader, which is one of his restaurants, and he wants to prepare a steak with me in my 5-star restaurant, I would be glad to do that with Chance. So that has been on the books, and Chance and his family got to come into Atlanta last night. They live outside of Noonan, so you can imagine the traffic that they encountered coming up here, man.
And it was bad.
It was bad.
Yesterday, too. Really bad.
Why? I wonder why.
I don't know why.
Because it's Atlanta.
Yep. There it is.
So
Nailed it.
they get to the restaurant, and I got to tell you guys, there are some times when you see celebrities, and he is a celebrity chef.
Yeah, because huge fan of the show Top Chef on Bravo, and if you are, then you obviously know the name Kevin Gillespie. He was a fan favorite. He's been on multiple Top Chef seasons.
So I think because of Kevin, and he's told us this publicly also, his history with cancer touched him so much that having Chance, who suffered from cancer also and is still going through treatments, Kevin is just a really great-hearted guy anyway, but the way he embraced the experience last night, you just never quite know what you're going to get with celebrities, right? Am I doing this out of obligation or not? Chance goes back there, and Mo and I followed into the kitchen, and Kevin was so incredibly informative and really embraced everything. He let Chance turn the steaks. He was explaining everything, let him put spices on the food. Then he would take him down the rack and he would educate him on exactly what this part of the kitchen does, that part of the kitchen. Then he takes him into another room, and Mo and I are like, we're not going in there.
Now I'm all set.
It was completely exclusive for him, and held him by the hand and really gave him a full-on 5-star experience to make this steak. And then we all sat down and we ate a 5-course, 6-course meal there.
6-course meal. They even had extra courses they brought out that weren't even on the menu to surprise us with.
So the steak that Chance got to help cook,
Yes.
you guys got to eat last night.
There was a really funny moment because, like Bert said, I mean, Kevin was incredible. He genuinely seemed to be enjoying it just as much as Chance, just showing him all of the ropes. And it was really cool to be behind the scenes and in the kitchen, especially if you watch The Bear. Like, it was like, wow, this is where it all goes down.
I wanted to see a fight break out.
Right,
That's what I've seen on The Bear.
Right. And then one of the other chefs was like, oh, it'll happen later, because it was like really calm. But my favorite moment was when Kevin was back there giving Chance an opportunity to flip the steak. And you know, it's so much fire and it's heat, and Chance was a little afraid, but he did it. And then Kevin goes, so how do you like your steak prepared? And Chance said, well done. And you can just see Kevin go, yeah, that's not going to happen.
He literally said, not tonight.
Yeah, not tonight, you don't.
Because when you go to a fancy restaurant like that, you want to taste the steak so you don't get it well done, but that's all Chance knows. So.
Yeah, he's like, I can see Kevin being like, buddy, you're getting a medium rare tonight.
Yes, you are.
Happen,
Whether
right?
you like it or not.
So it was a beautiful night, and his entire staff bent over backwards to make it great for their entire family. But while we were hanging with the family and we were talking a lot, I want to share a couple of things that were brought up during the dinner. First of all, you need to know what kind of kid Chance is. What Chance wanted to do this year was make sure that every kid on, I think it was one floor maybe, of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta had some kind of a small gift for Christmas. So he brought up over 200 gifts. He got them himself.
Collected?
He collected them
Himself.
all himself and brought them up to the hospital himself for everybody on the floor.
And handed them out to all the patients.
Handed them out to everybody.
Bless.
His mom has always said in every situation, he is always more concerned about all the other kids than himself. Like, he always wants to make sure that everybody gets something. Like, that's just who he is.
So that's the kind of kid that Chance is.
Precious.
And the other thing I wanted to relay also is, I don't know how the awards for the National Football League are handed out when it comes to athletes that give back to the community, but Grady Jarrett and his mom should win it each and every year. Every year. He plays for the Atlanta Falcons, and this guy, I don't know that he's ever said no to anybody, but Chance's mom was relaying a story to us last night about Chance being in the hospital, and Grady happened to be there visiting with kids on the floor. Now, these visits are a little bit more organized than in other areas, because you've got some kids that are very, very sick. You've got some kids that can go ahead and shake hands with whoever they want. So it's very organized. And when Grady and his mom walks in, there's a list of kids that Children's Healthcare of Atlanta provides for him to go to room, right? Well, Chance wasn't on that list, didn't even know that Grady Jarrett was in the building, right? But he happened to be in the hospital at the very same time. So as Chance wants to play football really badly, but his doctors are he can't do it just yet. But he's a big old football fan. So word got to Grady that Chance wanted to meet him, even though he wasn't on the list. And Grady said, I will not leave this hospital until I get a chance to meet Chance, who wasn't even on the list. And they said to him, look, you can't even shake hands with the kid. He's in a room and he's kind of in isolated, right? So you can't shake hands. So you'll actually have to do it through a glass door. And he said, I don't care how it's going to be done. I'm not leaving this building until I get to meet Chance. So he meets Chance, and I guess they're talking through the glass and then through some other details that I can't even get into. Grady ends up bringing Chance down onto the field before a Falcons game, hanging with him before the game also.
Of course he
and had
did.
a signed jersey ready for Chance before the game also.
How cool is that?
So that's just the goodness of people, man. And that's just one that we should be really, really proud of here in Atlanta. So thank you to Kevin Gillespie for making that experience more than what we had even bargained for, man. It was amazing.
Truly awesome. It really was.
So I saw some of Mo's Insta story, which you need to check out. I'm just impressed. Kevin's back there working that fire pit in a kilt.
Yeah, man. Yes, he was.
I'm protecting all my parts around.
You better believe it.
The Bert Show.